All right. So, as I said on my Instagram, if you follow it, which is Greg_Woodrow, um, you will have noticed that I posted on my story today that I was going to talk about competition prep. Just a general overview of it, not not anything like tips and like tips and tricks. General overview of stuff. Right now I'm meal prepping. Um, so basically, what I'm doing is I'm cooking 12 pounds of chicken. Should last me maybe 3 to 4 days. Doesn't last me very long. So basically, let's get started. So, what do you want to do when you first start? Right? What are you looking to do? What are you looking to what are you looking to get out of the experience? You're looking to win, or are you looking to just compete? Because there are different coaches for different reasons, and they cost more money based off of their experience working with people, their successes, etc. So there are coaches out there that are relatively cheaper. Doesn't necessarily mean they are better. It just means that they are cheaper, right? So they know a basic of what you need to do, right? So, but when you look for a coach, right, you want to look for a connection, okay? You want to look for something between you and that coach, that you can confide and trust in this person, right? Because at the end of the day, it all boils down to trust. How much do you trust this person? Are you going to follow their plan to a T without questioning it much? I mean, you should obviously ask why you're doing this, why you're doing that, but to question everything when a coach gives it to you is unnecessary. So you should be able to trust what they give you. Yeah. So the second is, what success have they had? What personal success have they had, and what success have they had with their clients? Because they could be a great competitor but horrible coach, vice versa. So basically, you want to look for, has he or she gotten a person pro? Have they won? Have they gotten their athletes to win overalls? It shows. These are things you want to look for when you are searching for a coach, because it's a very, very special relationship that you're going to have. So you want to make sure that it's the right person. Okay. And obviously, maybe you might not be with the same coach forever. I mean, me personally, I can see myself with my coach for the rest of my career, just because of what he's done for me so far. But sometimes it doesn't work between a coach, and you have to depart. Because you need to learn something. Because maybe you plateaued and you can't win shows or whatever it is, and another coach can get you there, right? So at the end of the day, it's not personal, right? No personal stuff to it. Okay, so when you find your coach, all right, they are going to write you a meal plan. Now, if you don't want a coach, my suggestion would be to either study a little bit on nutrition, so you understand how macronutrients work. Okay, it doesn't take that long. You Google how many calories per macro it gives. Carbs are 4, protein is 4, okay, and fats are 9. All right, that's calories per gram. All right, so if you want, you can look up the macros of each food on Google that you're going to eat, because you should be eating almost the same thing day in, day out. Okay, you shouldn't change much as prep goes on. All right, so you want to be able to learn how to calculate macros. That's important. Okay, your macros equal your calories, and your calories will determine whether you're in a surplus or a deficit. Now, when you're in a deficit, you're going to lose what? Body fat, right? And weight. Okay, but the goal is to maintain muscle and lose body fat at the same time. Okay, because it's not very possible. I've seen some cases where it is, but you're not really going to build that much muscle leaning out. Maybe a little bit, but not a lot. Your building muscle should be focused on your surplus. Okay. So now that we know that a calorie surplus equals fat gain and weight gain, and calorie deficit means fat loss and weight loss, the next thing to do would be to choose your forms of protein. Okay, so this is a great form of protein. It's chicken. That's every bodybuilder eats chicken, right? It's loaded with protein. It's loaded with aminos. So you want to be able to eat your lean meat, okay? You want foods with some fat in it, all right? You still want some fats in your diet. You need at least 80 grams of fat in your diet at all times, depending on your body weight, but that's typically where you want 60 to 120 grams of fat all the time, consistently, even when you're dropping calories. You don't want to drop fat, okay? Your brain needs it. Your joints need it. You need it overall. You'll get to the level of body fat you want, keeping the same fats in your diet, okay? Usually what I like to do for fats, and what I've been doing, is I eat 6 ounces of ground beef with a meal, and that's my second meal of the day. I eat 2 whole eggs in the morning from cutting, right? So in my off season, I'll eat more like 6 whole eggs. But when I'm prepping for a show, I'll eat 2 whole eggs and 6 egg whites. Okay, so you still want some fats in your diet, and then I'll throw in some almonds, about an ounce of almonds twice a day with my meals that I'm not getting much fat in, like the ones with chicken, right? So the next thing would be your form of carbs, all right? And this is going to be dependent on what suits your body, right? So for me, white rice is my best friend. I can digest it. No matter how much I take in, I won't get bloated from white rice because it's a high glycemic carbohydrate. Okay, that means it's quick acting in the body. It'll break down really fast, turn to glucose, and you can use it in the gym. All right, glucose is just sugar. All right, so it's sugar converted in the body. All right, in case anybody didn't know that. So I choose white rice. I eat it with every meal almost in my off season, and only with 4 when I'm cutting. Now, I will talk about what I've done in the past, what didn't work for me as far as carbs later in the video. But for now, you got to find your carb sources. Some people, sweet potato is all good. Sweet potato is a great form of carbs. There's a lot of nutrients in sweet potato. Quinoa, right? Brown rice is a great form of carb. I'm not a huge proponent of brown rice because of some research I've done, but, it's a slower digestive carb. For me, that'll bloat me. And it'll cause me immense amount of pain. I can't eat that shit. Only high glycemic carbohydrates. Fruit Loops would be better for me, better form of carbohydrate than sweet potato. I just had it the other day, and I thought I was going to die. It was horrible, horrible pain. So no more of that for me. And you learn, the more that's what it takes, right? Trial and error. So if you find that a food doesn't sit in your stomach well, that's why it's important to know what you're taking in, day out, and stay consistent. Because if you put something in and it fucks you up, you'll know, right? You'll know, okay, this is not for my body. Because people are allergic to things whether they think they are or not. Okay? So, after we've choose our form of carbohydrates, right? Then we have to come up with a meal plan. All right? Usually 6 meals is the standard. Sometimes you'll be able to get away with 5. Sometimes you'll be able to get away with eating 7. Really depends how awake you are, how fast your metabolism is. I think 6 is good for everybody, especially when you're just doing a general. If you're doing this by yourself, stick to 6 meals, okay? Don't get crazy. Don't try to just stick to 6 meals, all right? So 6 meals, and you want to make sure that you're spacing them out every 2 to 3 hours. Now, if you're not competing, this is still a standard. You still want to do this if you want to lose weight, okay? If you're 50 years old, you're not going to be able to just be like, I don't eat anything anymore and drop weight. It doesn't work like that. Your metabolism needs food. It needs to run consistently. Otherwise, it slows down when it gets older, and you're fucked. That's it, all right? Then you have to really work your ass off to try to get your metabolism back. That's no fun, all right? All right, so when you find your carbohydrate sources and you come together with your meal plan, what do you want to do now? All right, now you have to buy supplements, okay? Supplements, you're going to need a variety of stuff. My first suggestion, okay, would be to buy a multivitamin, Okay, you're gonna need multivitamins because you can't get every nutrient in your body. All right, it's physically impossible. All right, you can eat as many vegetables as you want throughout the day. You're still not gonna be hitting it, so you need one of these to remain functional. Okay, healthy. All right, the next thing I would suggest would be to get fish oil. All right, you're gonna want to eat. You're gonna want these are 1,000 milligrams, right? One with every other meal. All right, if you're not eating fish. If you're eating fish, don't worry about it. All right, you're getting enough. All right. The second would be this vitamin C. All right, this regulates your water intake. Okay, you know you don't want to be holding water. You want to see what your physique really looks like. Besides that, this helps with immunity. So the leaner you get, the more prime you are to getting sick. Okay, you don't want to get sick, especially when you're lean. It'll ruin your physique. It'll ruin your prep. Just this. Okay. As far as supplements are concerned, you might want to add in some CLA L-carnitine, maybe amino acids, and what you want to get is carbohydrate shake. Okay, you want to take this in with your amino acids after you work out, also with glutamine as well. So glutamine, carbs, amino acids in a shake after your workout, your resistance training workout. Cardio doesn't count as your workout. It counts as cardio. Okay? So after your training session, about 50 grams of this. All right? So that will help keep the glycogen in the muscle tissue so you don't go flat. And I'll talk about being flat a little bit later on the video. All right? So now that we've gone over supplements, all right, there is a topic that needs to be talked about, okay? Now, whether you approve of this or not, it doesn't really matter, okay? So the topic of the matter is, now I'm very transparent, is steroids, okay? So steroids is obviously a part of the culture, right? It's nobody talks about it, nobody... Yeah, they kind of ignore it, but I'm going to talk about it here because, again, it's a general information prep. All right, if you're competing, steroids are part of this whole deal. All right, so just understand that. Now, don't abuse the drugs. All right, don't abuse them. They're not meant to be abused. Okay, they're meant to assist and help you recover appropriately. They're not going to be a magical thing where, you know, now I'm a bodybuilder. Doesn't work like that. All right. Everything must remain strict. You're not going to be able to, fuck around while you're on it. You can't drink. You can't, there's a lot of things that you're going to be limited in. All right. So regardless, I will go over a basic list, a basic cycle for those who, are interested in competing. Again, I'm transparent. I'm going to talk about this because, well, nobody else talks about it. Okay, so your basic cycle, and you don't need to get crazy with it, is 300 mg test per week. Okay, you might want to throw in some masterone. All right, so that would also be 300 mg a week of masterone. Okay, you do that for the whole prep. 12 weeks. All right. So it could be Cestanon. That's what I've been taking. Cestanon and Masteron for 12 weeks. All right. When you're 4 weeks out, I would suggest throwing in Anavar and Winstrol. Okay. And keep an aromatase inhibitor handy, like Arimidex or Novadex or Letrozole. Okay. So, because that, you're going to need to maybe counter it a little bit if you notice you get side effects. But you don't get crazy with it. All right. It's not meant to be abused. All right. It's a tool. Okay. So moving on now with cardio. Okay. So cardio is essential. All right. You must do cardio. I can't believe I have to say that. You must do cardio every fucking day. All right. There are days where you can take off, right, when you carb up, and you want the carbs to stay in your body for your training sessions that you're trying to develop. Now, how you develop a body part while you're going about prepping, you want to make sure that when you carb up, it's the night before you train a body part that you want to develop, right? So for me, mine was my chest, okay? My chest, my arms. So what we would do is I would skip cardio the 2 days that I'm carbing up for chest and back. I mean, chest and arms, right? And then I'd start doing cardio again. So basically cardio you shouldn't start going crazy with cardio 12 weeks out. 20 to 25 minutes a day, 5 times a week is good. It's good. You don't need to do more than that. Make sure you take 2 days off of weight training. Your body needs to recover, right? What I used to do is I used to train 7 times a week, 2 to 3 times a day, and I noticed no progress. Okay, maybe you might make progress for a little bit, but you're going to stop. So don't do that. All right. So when you do the cardio, you want to put effort into it. Don't just go, I'm Mr. Robot. Not going to work. Not going to work. Sweat. Make your clothes look like you jumped in a pool. That's going to be the most effective method of doing your cardio. Okay. You need to burn adipose tissue, right? That's fat. Adipose tissue eats fat. All right, so when you're doing the cardio, for me, when I do the stairs, I don't hold on to the sides. Okay, I want to feel the burn. I want to make the cardio as hard as possible. I put it at level 7 and I go for 50 minutes. I didn't start like that, but that's what I do every day. Okay, so and maybe I might do another 25 minutes at night on the bike. All right, so but just make sure that you do your cardio. Don't be skipping out on it. It's very important. I have done a prep where I haven't done cardio, but I dieted really hard and lost a lot of size. This prep, I'm keeping a lot of food in, doing the extra cardio, and keeping my size. So that's what's worked for me this prep. Not every prep is the same, so you don't know, but this seems like a good method for me. So what's next? What to do when you're feeling flat? This is an obvious thing. This is an obvious question, obvious answer. You must carb up. It doesn't necessarily mean cheat meal, right? You don't know what the cheat meal is going to do to your body. You do want to try cheat meals if you plan on using that for the show. If you don't plan on using that for the show, just eat clean the whole time. It's only 12 weeks. You'll be able to handle it. I promise. You can handle it. 12 weeks, no cheat meals. But if you plan on doing that, you must try. For me, anything outside of outside of a burger and fries fucks me up. So I don't do it. I just do the cheeseburger and fries. That's it for me. All right. So and depending on how flat, if you're starting to feel flat, make sure you get carbs in that day. You don't want the muscle to flatten out. That means you're losing size. Okay, it means you're utilizing muscle as energy, and that's not good because you want to maintain all of the muscle while you're doing the cardio or while you're doing while you're dieting. So I have a list of fuck ups and successes that I'm going to talk about. So basically, I guess my most successful prep has been this one. I don't know what the outcome is going to be. I don't know if I'm going to get my pro card. Right now I'm 13 days out. But you never know. You never know how people show up. You never know how you're going to show up, how that day is going to take you. You don't know the outcome. I just know I'm going to be bringing 100% up until that. Right? So this has been probably my most successful prep yet. And it only keeps getting, the more experience you get, the more successful it gets, because the more you know your body, you trust your body, right? This is the first prep I'm actually working with a coach who's telling me what to do, right? I've had a coach in the past and they didn't give me any sort of direction. They didn't tell me really where to go. I just kind of figured it out on my own, which is fine, but I need, in order for me to get to this next level, I felt it was necessary for myself to hire a new coach, and he has been awesome, and I'm definitely staying with him for the remainder of my competing. But yeah, so I think the biggest fuck up that I had was the prep for the 2018 Steve Stone Metropolitans. That, you know, I was trying my hardest to make weight, and I was doing so much cardio and low carbs that by the end of it, I had lost all my size. I was conditioned, but I looked tired. My body looked so tired. And then on top of that, for some reason, my coach decided to, at that time, not the one I have now, told me to water load into the show. And I ended up spilling over, and I looked smaller, right? I just didn't look good that show. That was the biggest fuck up of my life. Too much cardio, too low carbohydrate. I found it better that a longer prep and a longer cut equates to a better outcome, and being right around the weight. You don't want to be, when you're 3 weeks out, 2 weeks out, you don't want to be 20 pounds overweight, and trying to make that weight. And that's what happened to me last time, or not last time. That's what happened to me in 2018. And I looked my worst, hands down. But some people can get away with it. Some people can get away with that. I don't suggest it though. I suggest doing it the way that you, the slow cut. It's harder, but it'll be better outcome. But yeah. So, I'm not going to talk about peak week here. I don't think that it's necessary in this video, because I'm going to make another video about peak week. If you do have questions about peak week, feel free to reach out to me on my Instagram, or you can message me here in the comment section if you have any questions. I think that it just takes a consistent level of effort. All right, your first prep isn't going to be, if you're prepping yourself in your first show, prepare that you're not going to be at the condition that you might need to be at. Okay, you might think to yourself, I look really great, but it's not going to be great compared to somebody that has somebody watching them the whole time. So if you want to prep yourself, you have to understand that your first show might not be the best show. Okay, and you can't get upset if you place lower. The only way you can get upset is if you don't win, is if you had not put in the consistent effort, and you fucked up along the way, and you knew you fucked up, and you didn't commit yourself fully to it. That's when you're going to be upset with yourself. If you don't win and you've put everything, dumped everything, your heart and soul into it, and you don't come with the win, it's not. You can't get mad. It's not up to you. It's up to the judges if you win, right? You're not scoring points. You are posing. And you're hitting your poses, and you're getting judged off of that. All right, so it's their preference. So at the end of the day, if you plan on competing, and you're looking for a coach, I do coach as well. So feel free to reach out if you're interested in doing shows in 2021, whether it's local shows or a national show. I will definitely get you to the best condition of your life. I'll make sure you're guided every step of the way. It's a very important thing, I think. Even I have a coach. I coach myself for a very long time and realized I can't do this without one, So that's my experience with prepping. It's the first one. You're gonna have to understand. Your body's gonna be feeling all these different types of things it's never felt before, and it's just understand that's the dieting. The exhaustion, the joint pains. It's all part of the deal. To get really lean. So when you start feeling like that, don't pull back. Keep going, because if you pull back, there's somebody that's going to keep pushing ahead, feeling worse, and still pushing harder, and then they're going to be the winner. So if you have any questions, reach out in the comment section. Reach out on my Instagram, Greg_Wetero. And I will be happy to get back to you as soon as I can. Yeah.